Hey guys, it's me, John Avenger, once again, and welcome back to another video. This is my last video of July, and I'm not even doing movies that are so bad it's good anymore because tomorrow's August. The next month will be Floppy Woppy month, which is movies that flopped financially or critically. This film did bomb, not financially, but critically. I hated this movie. Josh, I know why you hated this movie. This movie can suck my dick. It's the 2018 Marvel movie. Sony produced bullshit. Venom. Fuck this movie, man. Just fuck this movie. This is what you give us, Sony, 11 years after Spider-Man 3. This half-baked, bullshit, way too short movie with nothing going for it. And I'm sorry, you need Spider-Man for Venom to exist. This is not Venom. What the hell is this thing? What is this? This freaking vein popping tongue with. I know he has the tongue in the comics. I get that. Freaking, one-liner spewing bullshit character without the Spider-Man symbol in the front. What is this? This is not Venom, guys. This is a ripoff of The Hidden and The Amazing Spider-Man and freaking which Sony already did, and what else? And Species 1 and 2. That's what this is a ripoff of. An alien creature symbiote comes from space and takes over the people as hosts. Yeah, I already saw that in The Hidden. And it was in Species 1 and 2. And ironically, because Michelle Williams is in this movie and she was in the original Species. She was the little girl that Syl that gets the alien creature on her. And this movie was directed by Ruben Fleischer. Who did this movie? He did a bad job. I'm sorry. I prefer his other films. This is the same guy that did Zombieland, which I'm going to watch the first one before the sequel comes out, and 30 Minutes or Less. Gangster Squad. I like that better because it's an R rating. This is a PG-13, and it did not need to be. This should have been a hard R like Deadpool, Logan, and Deadpool 2. When you have a creature that bites people's heads off and throws them at the corner and eats them alive, that's an R rating, not a PG-13. Why are you pandering to kids, Sony? You failed 4 freaking times. You failed with Fembusters, you failed with Spider-Man, you failed with freaking, what else? You failed with Spider-Man twice, and you failed with Venom. If Morbius sucks, I'm done with you, Sony. Yes, you're joining custody with Marvel to do the Spider-Man Homecoming and Far From Home. Those are better than this freaking movie. Because there's literally a scene in this movie after Eddie gets the symbiote that he's on a motorcycle. Yeah, I didn't see that in Mission Impossible Fallout last year, a few months earlier. Don't mind me. I have a cut here. That's why I have a bandage on my chin. And there's blue explosions. There's freaking lens flares in this movie, just like the Star Trek movies that J.J. Abrams did. Why? Why? Why are there freaking lens flares in a Marvel movie? And then, like I said before, with the motorcycle scene, they show drones attacking Eddie. Yeah, I didn't just see that in freaking with Mysterio in Far From Home. Granted, that came out a year after this, but still, there's no excuse for this. Don't remind me of a scene I saw done better in a feature film that I've seen recently. And this is a waste of a cast. Tom Hardy is on crack in this movie. The whole movie, he sounds like this. Yeah, I'm Eddie Brock. He sounds like a white Mike Tyson in this movie. And I told you, stop putting Brits in my freaking movies. Stop it. It worked for Tom Holland. It did not work for Tom Hardy. Hardy is freaking forcing every bit of this dialogue. The curse words seem completely freaking forced. He acts like he's on drugs. Half the time he's making sound effects. He's like, woohoo! Or oh, or yeah, that's him for the whole freaking movie. That's his performance. This on crack Brit is acting like a freaking idiot the whole movie. I got a parasite. Let's do this. That's the freaking movie. That's the freaking movie. It takes almost an hour for Venom to appear in this 92-minute movie. This movie is not an hour and 52 minutes. That's bullshit. An hour and 52 minutes, it's not an hour and 52 minutes. It's 92 minutes. There's an end credit scene, which was and then there's a scene from Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, which is way better than this freaking movie. And that didn't even have Venom in it. $100 million, $116 million freaking dollars for this freaking movie. God, this movie sucked ass. So how does it start? There's a freaking rocket that crashes into Malaysia. And the freaking symbiotes get loose and attacks the people on the freaking ship. Again, I saw that in Species 2. It goes on this Asian girl, and she transfers to an old lady, and then it goes on and on and on. And yeah, and then Eddie is like he does an investigation on this guy Colton Drake, played by this god awful actor from Jason Bourne in Rogue One. Fuck this guy too, Riz Ahmed. This guy, this is the only expression on his face, just like Felicity Jones. Levi, you'll love this. This is his expression the whole movie. Bring me my creature. Get a test subject. We need a host. Launch the rocket. That's his freaking performance for the whole movie. That's his freaking performance. He's a blank piece of wood, guys. I've told you. Stop putting Brits in my freaking lead roles. I'm sick of it. I was sick of it back in 2011 when I saw Captain America: The First Avenger. Not Chris Evans, freaking Haley Atwell. Ever since that day, I'm sick of Sony and Marvel putting these freaking Brits as leads. They can't act. I've been telling you this for years. The only reason that Tom freaking Holland and Benedict Cumberbatch worked is because they were in the hands of good directors. This guy should not be doing a superhero movie ever again. He does comedy. The comedy in this movie is not funny. Eddie jumping into a freaking lobster tank and eating a lobster raw and eating from the garbage, which is disgusting. Fuck you, writers, for that. And he vomits. Yeah, this movie made me uncomfortable already, guys. Sony makes my stomach turn when it comes to their superhero movies. This is what they call a good Venom movie, really. What did the critics give this? This movie made $213 million. Thank God that Far From Home made more than you, because it's not shitty. It's got funny humor. It's got a light tone. It's got a villain that's badass. It's got amazing visuals. The CGI in this movie is god awful. This is bad CGI even for this would have been bad CGI 10 years ago, much less from last year. Ant-Man and the Wasp. People give that movie hell. It's better than this freaking movie. Yeah, it's funnier. It's almost the same running time. Evangeline Lilly is gorgeous and is not wasted. Michelle Williams, beautiful actress that got an Oscar nomination. She deserves better than this. You see her in a little skirt. And I'm not complaining, guys. Believe me, I'll take that over the freaking hobo any day because I don't see anything from her. But you waste her, and the whole movie she's pining for Eddie, and she like gets fired because of him because he sees her confidential freaking he goes on her computer and looks at a file and exploits Drake for saying, "Oh, you're doing all this test subjects and this and this and that," and she gets fired and she leaves him, and then she keeps pining for him. Where's the consistency? The only thing consistent they did in this movie, the film, it looks kind of good. Like the film is well shot, mostly, and the score's okay. And I like Stanley's cameo. The action sequences have no freaking momentum, guys. It's just bloodless violence with Venom throwing people through glass and biting their heads off, and they show nothing. And he tells this guy at the end, you will be this armless, legless, faceless thing rolling down the street like a turd in the wind." I'm like, that's one of the shittiest dialogue scenes I've ever seen in a superhero movie. You need Spider-Man for this to work. So Venom can't work on his own without Marvel. Look at what happened this year with Dark Phoenix. And fuck you for that, Fox. Before Disney bought you, you failed miserably. You failed miserably with that, just like with Sony failed with this. Yeah, they made their money back. But I hope to God that the sequel bombs so that we don't see a Venom 3. I'm sick and tired of bullshit movies making money. I'm sick of it. Case in point, for the past 5 years. Riz Ahmed, you do not get a freaking pass because you did Rogue One. You sucked in that. You sucked in Jason Bourne. You sucked in this. Please retire. I'm sick of you and your kind in these freaking movies. Sick of it. Aladdin, freaking Lion King, the KK Wars. This movie. When is it going to end, Hollywood? When are you going to get your heads out of your asses and stop casting these freaking Brits? Literally, it takes 54 minutes to see Venom in the movie. 54 minutes, almost an hour. And Eddie doesn't get the thing on him until 37 minutes. Stop with the pacing issues, Sony. We want to see the titular character in the first 10 minutes. Spider-Man Homecoming did that better. You don't have to wait a freaking hour to see him in the suit. You see him in the suit a lot. Here, you don't see him in the whole full body until like an hour into the movie. And this movie's only 92 minutes long. They cut a lot of shit out of this movie. And normally I would like a movie to be longer. This needed to be longer, R-rated, and it needed to be better written. This film was just as bad as The Mummy from 2017. It's trying to build this universe away from Spider-Man, and it needs Spider-Man. Venom can't exist without Spider-Man. It's like having the Joker, well, minus the Joker movie coming out this year, and it's not Sony. But that's like having a DC movie where Lex Luthor is in a movie without Superman, or Supergirl, or Superboy, or Steel, or somebody. You need one. The one thing can't be without the other. I'm sorry. This didn't work. This is a shitty movie. It's badly written. The comedy doesn't work. Eddie vomiting, it makes my stomach turn. Freaking Michelle Williams in the symbiote for like 5 seconds and kisses Eddie, and she's like eating his face. I didn't like that scene, guys. Stop making my beautiful woman in a movie useless. Jenny Slate, she plays a doctor in the movie. She's like a head, the freaking henchwoman kind of to Colton Drake, and she's the only one that's trying in the movie. And I usually don't like Jenny Slate in the movie because I hated her in Alvin and the Chipmunks ship. What was it? Was it Chipwrecked? Yeah, she was in that, and she was some crazy woman with these sports balls that she was talking to on an island. She was freaking nuts. Here, she's a little calmed down. And like I said, there's the curse words feel forced in this movie. They're like, oh, we have to put the S word every other sentence. We have to put the F word in a nothing thing when Eddie's climbing the freaking rocket to stop Colton Drake's riot, which looks like shit. That fight scene was horrible. It's like globs of diarrhea fighting each other. It looks horrible. And the fact that this movie, outstanding effects, really, this is outstanding effects. No, Captain Marvel, that has better freaking effects. That got a lot of shit. But critics liked it because it was a good flowing movie. And it was longer, and it was better acted, and it had a better pacing. We didn't have to wait an hour for her to be in the costume, guys. We got her in the green costume in the first 10 minutes. That had a better pacing. It was funnier. Freaking Nick Fury was better. The cameo from Stan Lee was cool, but it's at the end, and it's not worth your pain. Just see the scene on YouTube and move on. This movie is not worth your pain. Venom 2 is expected to come out next year. Fuck you, Sony. I'm not seeing it. I am done with your bullshit. If Morbius sucks, I'm done. I am washing my hands in the new decade. I'm not going to let you fuck up my new decade. You're not going to do it, and neither are these freaking Brits. Well, they sound like this. I'm investigating. I have a parasite. Oh my god. That's him, the whole freaking movie. I'd rather see Upgrade because at least that's Venom without the symbiote, and Logan Marshall Green is a better actor than you, Tom Hardy. The best things you did were with Christopher Nolan. Inception and freaking Dark Knight Rises. At least his Bane voice is laughable, so I can laugh at it. And you don't see Tom Hardy move his mouth. It's a mask like this. That's better than this bullshit movie. At least you have more Batman in this movie than you have more than Venom in this movie. Where he's talking like this. We're gonna bite their heads off and put them at the corner. Why would we do that? Why would we do that? Seriously, you sound like a freaking cartoon, Tom Hardy. And I'm sick of Brits. I'm just sick of them. And, oh, you're racist. I said I like Tom Holland. And he's as British as freaking Tom Hardy. But he's younger. He has a smile on his face. He's not looking like this. He's not freaking eating from a garbage. He's not, like screaming like a bitch. That's the only funny scene in the movie. Where he's in the bathtub and he screams like a bitch. And that was funny. That's it, though. Every other joke fell flat. There's one cameo in this movie that people didn't notice. And I will say this. There's an actor in this movie that was in Spider-Man 3. The security guard that's in the building where Colton Drake works at or whatever. He was the cop in Spider-Man 3 that was shooting at Sandman. And again, guys, those effects were better. Yeah, it's sad when in Spider-Man 3, which I enjoy more than this freaking movie, Venom is in it for like 10 minutes and he has more dignity than here. At least there he had the spider symbol. At least there he has webbing. Here he doesn't have webbing. It's like his freaking body shoots out like a freaking Jack in the Box. It's like phoom, 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 and his arm turns black. I'm like, this is disgusting. This isn't pleasant. This isn't entertaining. This isn't Marvel. Marvel doesn't do ugly, guys. Shazam was DC, and that had a better move. That was a better movie than this. Much better pacing, better jokes. Shazam appears in the movie way before an hour in, guys. It's longer. It's way more entertaining. The action had some momentum. The third act was a nice surprise with the freaking family and fighting the freaking creatures, which looked better than this. And your lead wasn't some British pre-turd that can't act. Oh, you have the villain for that, freaking Mark Strong. But who cares? At least he was taken down. God, I hated this movie. Josh, you were every single complaint you had in your rant, it was well deserved. You were freaking speaking your mind, and I'm gonna do the same here. Fuck this movie. Venom. This is vomit, is what it's called. It's not Venom. Vomit. Disgusting. It made me sick to my stomach. And even the way he gets the Venom suit is not even interesting. There's a girl on glass inside of a container, and she's like, Eddie, get me out of here. And he breaks through, an alarm goes off, she grabs him by the neck, the symbiote goes in his neck, and then he has the Venom suit. So it's not like in Spider-Man where, in the cartoon where it was done way better, he's in a clock tower, and, the freaking bell is ringing, and it goes on him. That's better than this. It made more freaking sense. Here, it's like, oh, it's just a coincidence. This reminded me too much of Amazing Spider-Man, and guys, I told you, I hated those freaking movies. Both of them. This movie looks like Amazing Spider-Man, it feels like it, it has the freaking pacing of it. The only thing it doesn't have is the running time. That movie was too long, and so was the second one. They did too much shit to try to build it. I told you, Sony, stop trying to be the MCU. You're not the MCU. Fox was not the MCU. DC knew that. That's why they went in a new direction with Wonder Woman and Aquaman and freaking Shazam and hopefully the Joker. Joker cannot be any worse than this. Oh, God, no. If it takes an hour for the Joker to be in the freaking movie, then I'm going to walk out. Give me the clown within 30 to 40 minutes of the movie, guys. Don't waste my freaking time. We want to pay to see the titular character. Why you think Far From Home made $1 billion and you didn't, Vomit? You didn't. You didn't. Because it's better. It's funnier. It's lighter. The villain is better. The visuals are stunning. I was like, holy shit, look at all this craziness. Look at these illusions. Look at Mysterio flying. Look at Spidey's awesome suit. Even his black suit in Far From Home is better than this. Because it's a practical suit. It looks great. And the Night Monkey thing was kind of funny. It was funny. Let's face it, it was. This movie just pissed me off. And I had to end the month of July on this bullshit movie. Don't see this movie, guys. If you have not seen it, please. Tevya and Josh and Anthony and whoever else saw the movie, I feel your pain now. This is bullshit. Sony, you have one more chance, and that's Morbius. If you screw that up, I'm done. I'm done. I'm not gonna see any more. No, the Tom Holland movies don't. They have the same first name. Those don't count because that's in the hands of the MCU. It is. They did a good service for Spidey. They turned these bullshit movies that you did with the amazing films, and they made it lighter. They didn't mention Uncle Ben dying. They didn't do the bite again. They didn't have to do the origin. They skipped the bullshit. They got us in the costume, and they gave us a kick-ass villain twice. They gave us a kick-ass villain. The freaking the Vulture, who was a pussbag in the comics, and yet here they made him into a badass, and Mysterio, who is way better than freaking Venom or Riot. I'm sorry, he just is. The illusion thing was better than anything in this movie. Riz Ahmed, go fuck yourself. Tom Hardy, go fuck yourself for saying yes to this. After The Dark Knight Rises, you should have never been in another superhero movie. How is this going to work with Tom Holland, Spider-Man? Just tell me, guys. Tell me in the comment section, how is this going to work? You have light Spidey right here in freaking right there, yeah, in freaking Infinity War and Endgame. You have a light Spider-Man, and you have this dark, brooding, disgusting vomit. It's not going to work, guys. These two tones don't work. Did you see the Hellboy movie from this year? Yeah. That was inconsistent too, just like this freaking movie. Fuck Vomit in the face. And its sequel next year. I'm not seeing it. You writers should be ashamed of yourself. Avi Arad, you can do better than this. You produced the freaking Sam Raimi movies. Those are better than this freaking movie, than this Vomit. Let's see, Jeff Pinkner, he wrote this. Let me see what else he's done. I can't believe I wasted 90 minutes. This guy wrote The Amazing Spider-Man 2. Yeah, that's what this movie was like, except it's an hour shorter. You wasted a freaking female lead. And the ending is just like The Amazing Spider-Man. A blonde chick that the guy has the hots for helps fight off the villain in the third act. Yeah, I didn't see that with freaking Gwen Stacy, Emma Stone's gorgeous ass with the lizard and the horrible lizard and Goomba looking thing in The Amazing Spider-Man. Stop reminding me of the past, Sony. The best thing you ever did was freaking electronics, like the PlayStation and the PlayStation 2 and the PS3 and the PSP and your TVs and your phones and whatever. Your movies suck. Every time you do a superhero movie, you fuck it up. You do it. You in the studio, you can go fuck yourselves. Scott Rosenberg, let's see what he did. What he wrote. A bunch of TV stuff. Con Air. I like Con Air. Uncredited appearance. Hey, that's a better movie than this. It's R-rated, and John Malkovich alone is worth watching that movie. Armageddon. I like that movie. The 2002 Spider-Man movie. I like that movie. I love that movie. Cloverfield. That's a better movie, and that was not R. Pain and Gain, which I haven't seen. Jumanga, Welcome to the Jungle. Again, stop it, Sony. Stop with your freaking obsession with trying to make your own universe and stealing from old properties like Jumanji and Spider-Man and making it bullshit. I said it. If Morbius sucks, you're done. I'm done with you. Or like Tom Hardy said, we're done. We're done. That's the whole movie. He doesn't sound like a real man. He sounds like a freaking white Mike Tyson drugged out of his mind. Man, I hated this movie. Michelle Williams should have done something better. This and I Feel Pretty were two of her worst films of this decade. She had more dignity as Glinda in freaking Oz the Great and Powerful because she's beautiful and I love looking at her and I love her voice and she has better chemistry with James Franco than with freaking Tom Hardy. Just stop. Stop it, Sony. Vomit is not for me. I don't want to look at it. I don't want to hear about it. I'm done. This movie is garbage. It's one of the worst superhero movies to come out. The only reason Fan Snorstick is worse than this is because it has no action. And it's poorly lit. At least this movie, I can see what's going on. As horrible as it is, I can see what's going on. But this is one of the stupidest movies ever from 2018. Into the Spider-Verse, I had some issues with the third act, with the animation, but it was a better movie. Miles Morales is likable. He's not an asshole. And he's not sounding like this. I'm not some scared little kid. Good God, what is with these Brits doing these shitty accents? At least freaking Benedict Cumberbatch, I don't mind his accents. Like, Star, hit me, Beyonce. It's kind of like a calm voice. This is just drugged out of your mind. And yeah, Brie Larson, she got a lot of hell this year, but she proved that she can act because she won an Oscar. And Captain Marvel, we're going to see a lot more of her than Vomit. I'll tell you that much. I'm not calling him Venom. It's Vomit. Fuck you, Sony. This movie sucks. I'm done with you if Morbius is not at least decent. I'm not even a big fan of Morbius, but I want to see some effort. I'm tired of you taking characters that are good and making them shit. DC already did that before, and they learned their lesson now, mostly. And Marvel's done that, and they learned their lesson now. You haven't. You keep fucking up, and I'm sick and tired of you. So, fuck Venom. I mean, Vomit 2018. This is terrible. This movie should be burned. And the post-credit scene wasn't that great. Oh, there's going to be carnage. Yeah, I don't think there will be. Later, guys. I'll see you in August. Fuck Vomit.